Okay, so take us back to the two brothers, the Kennedy brothers, and the relationship, and how, which one was you?
Yeah,
Was
the
it first
father,
with Jack, or what?
the father, Joe Kennedy, was a strict Catholic, and he had a series of mistresses. I think that's covered in Catholicism. I think you're allowed to go to church and
You can
renounce your
confess
sins.
that and then go back and
Do your Hail Marys and
Right.
go
Go
back.
to confession. 10 Hail Marys.
And so he was an image, probably not a good image, for his sons. And the father owned RKO Studios for a time and had as his mistress a great movie star, Gloria Swanson at the time. And so the Kennedy boys were attracted and schooled in seduction by their dad, and took advantage of any opportunity they could. Anyway, the way I understand it is that Jack Kennedy went first, and then when he got tired, he passed them on to his younger brother, Bobby, which is what I understand happened with Monroe. Anyway, I was fast asleep one night, and it was August 4th, and the phone rang, and 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was my boss, Arthur Jacobson, saying, "Get over to Marilyn Monroe's house. She's dead." He says, "Don't tell the media anything." Okay, so I got there at about 5:30, just as the sun was coming up, in time to see her lifeless body covered by a sheet carried out of her house into a morgue wagon. And there were a lot of media there, a lot of reporters, some of which I knew, a lot of photographers.
So how did they hear about it if you weren't?
Police scanners.
Police scanners, okay, so they were already on site, yellow tape, they're wheeling her out, okay. And can you also
Did they
back up
even-
to the Peter Lawford piece of all of that?
No, but finish this one.
Yeah, can you
Yeah.
finish that?
And so I was being asked and shouted at, what happened? Was she killed? Was it suicide? I didn't know, so I said, I don't know. So I said that we would have a press conference at our offices 10 o'clock the next morning. And then we tried to come up with a story, but none of us knew whether she had been murdered, whether she committed suicide, because she had tried suicide several times in the past. And miraculously, someone would save her at the last moment. Peter Lawford was Kennedy's pimp. He would interview young lovelies in advance of either Jack Kennedy or Bobby Kennedy's arrival. So that's why they came out. It had nothing to do with national security. It had nothing to do with foreign affairs. It was all about the girls.
So wasn't though Peter Lawford there the night of her death, taking Bobby out? Like, wasn't there some whisking away and
It's a long story.
read the book, right? It's in the book.
Yeah. Apparently, Bobby Kennedy was at her house 4 o'clock that afternoon, and they had had a big fight. And she had opened up a bottle of Dom Perignon, which was her favorite champagne. And after Bobby Kennedy left, in a car driven by Peter Lawford back to Lawford's house, which was 625 Pacific Coast Highway, which is at the foot of Wilshire Boulevard. Monroe apparently had drunk the entire bottle of champagne and popped in a few sleeping pills, and that's what I believe ended up her life. And Bobby Kennedy was hurriedly moved by a helicopter, which landed in front of Peter Lawford's house on the beach, to San Francisco, where he said that he had been was not at Monroe's house. But Darrell Gates, who was the chief of police at that time, said that Kennedy was in town. So it depends on who you believe.